I think this is one of the most unusual shaped pieces that I've ever come across. This is what it looked like after I'd stripped the wax off it and done the necessary prep work. The base colour started out with a warm tone palette. These three colours are from Dixie Belle Chalk Mineral Paint range, and they're called Plum Crazy, Muscadine Wine and Barn Red. The reason I started out with these three colours is because I wanted a contrasting base to the colours that I was going to finish up with. As you can see, the placement is quite random of these colours, and that's just because I wanted a little bit of tonal variation to the base colour. I didn't want one flat colour. The next colour I used was Tree Frog Green, which is a vibrant green colour, one of my favourites. It's super vibrant, I don't know if I mentioned that. And then I added some water to it and a little bit of sea spray, which just means it's going to give me a kind of little bit of gritty texture to this piece, because I wanted it to make it look a bit worn and faded. And I just added that randomly in areas and wiped it back, so it wasn't full coverage. There was only little hints of this colour. The next colour was Cobalt Blue. Again, a little bit more coverage with this colour because I'm working towards getting a kind of turquoisey blue colour. The layers are going to be visible but very subtle, and that's just going to help build depth and dimension to the final finish. The last colour that I put on was Mermaid Tail. This actually wasn't the last colour because I did do a little bit of dry brushing afterwards, but the main colour that you can see is Mermaid Tail. It's a really pretty turquoise, perfect for bohemian pieces. And again, I just played around with adding this with a sponge, taking a little bit away with a cloth, wiping it back, because I wanted that really pretty vintage layered paint kind of look. As I mentioned, I did do a little bit of dry brushing with the Gulf, which is an even lighter turquoise, and that's just to highlight various places. The last thing I did was to finish up with a layer of Vestang wax in clear. This is just going to help protect the paintwork and give it a really nice sheen. I also added some shading with brown wax just in the corners of the drawers, again just to add a little bit of depth and dimension. And for the finishing touch, I just added a little bit of copper gilding wax onto the metal detail on the doors and also on the handles as well. Here's a couple of close-ups of the interior and the paint finish, and you can see on these close-ups all of those layers that I've gradually built up with the use of water and colour washes. Here's a reminder of the before and here's the after.